go, it's time again. It's time for another top 10. We did it.
We did it. You did a song.
I did a song.
Way to go.
Thank you.
We realized it's like past the middle of the year.
Yes.
We've read a lot of good books.
Yes.
And we want to tell you about some of them. So collectively, we're going to have a top 10. I'm going to choose 5. He's going to choose 5. These are our favorite reads of the year so far. I'm not putting mine in an order. I don't know about you.
I'm not either.
Too much pressure.
Yeah, too much pressure. It's just, it's halfway through the year.
Yeah.
Don't need to put that much pressure on ourselves.
I do want to clarify. I've not read everything in your stack. Well, hold on. I may have. We'll see.
You have not.
No, I've not. Therefore, those are not my 5.
True.
And you haven't read like any of these.
Correct.
So
these are different. They're individual top 5s.
Yeah.
So
do you want me to start?
Yeah, you go ahead and start. It's your channel.
Okay. It's your channel too.
It's named after you.
Is it though? Flung Out of Space. I actually read this recently by Grace Ellis and Hannah Templer. I didn't know what I was in for, basically. It's the story of Patricia Highsman, inspired by the indecent adventures of her.
Oh.
There's a cat on the cover, and we love that.
Yeah.
But it's about her back in the day. It was a Wednesday, I think. She wrote a lot of comics, and she was not a good person. And she didn't love comics. She was very embarrassed to be writing comics. What she really wanted to do was write mysteries and this other stuff that she wanted to write, which she did end up doing. She also wrote the book that inspired Carol, the movie. So that's probably why someone out there may know her. It was just so well done. I didn't know anything about her going in. Like, I haven't seen the movie. Didn't know her name. But you can just go in and like, that's okay. It was just so well done. Again, she was not a good person. And the foreword talks about how she's not a good person, and that will be reflected. So this was especially rare for me to enjoy because I don't like a book with an unlikable main character.
That's very
typically.
True.
But this was just so well done. I couldn't help but really enjoy it. So I'd be curious your thoughts. I want you to read it. It's a very quick read.
Okay.
But I think it'll stay in my top 10 at the end of the year. We'll see. I may read a lot of other amazing things, but this is just so good. I want more people to read it. It should be on more people's radar. So check it out.
Okay. Yeah. I watched you did an episode on Fangirls talking about it, and I watched that, and I kind of thought, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Because like before you did that, before you read it, we didn't really chat about what it was, so that's really cool.
She like met Stan Lee. Stan Lee's in it. It's interesting. I want you to read it for sure.
I will. First one that I'm going to talk about is no surprise to anybody, because this was from when we were doing our Mini Comic Monday series, and this is legitimately one of my favorite books of the year, and that's Poo Poo. And this technically came out last year. There was a second issue of Poo Poo that I think came out this year, but I read it this year, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was like Caroline Cash. She's doing like they're calling it like a one woman anthology type stuff. So similar to like Hate or 8-Ball, Dan Klaus type stuff, Arkham, like all like those like underground comics of like the 60s and 70s, like that revolution, but doing it like today. And it's just a blast. I just think it's so much fun, and it really is just, I also like, who doesn't want to say Poo Poo all the time? Like, I mean,
that would be Miriam, who's going to watch this and be like, oh no,
that's true. But Poo Poo, top read.
I did also read Poo Poo, and I enjoyed it. It would not be in my top, but I did enjoy it. It's very strange.
It's very strange, but it's lovely.
Yeah. Also, another thing that's strange and lovely, The Abominable Charles Christopher. This also did not come. The webcomic started in, I think, 2007 or so. So you can read all of this for free online. I have the 3 paperbacks. There will be a 4th and final one. But I got them via Kickstarter at some point, maybe last year, and I actually read it this year, and oh my gosh, the art's beautiful. Carl Kerschel does this. I love the story. It is about Charles Christopher here and his journeys in the woods with all his wood friends. He doesn't talk, but everybody else does. It's just so wholesome and lovely, and it made me so happy, and this is 100% like a top read of all time, I want to say, for
Really?
me. So I really want, again, it's another one.
I
I
know,
want you to
yeah.
read it. I think
I
you really
feel
like
like,
it.
yeah.
But again, if you're interested in this, you can read it for free online and see how you feel. But I loved it so much.
That's a good pick. And that's one that, like, ever since you've been talking about it, like, I've wanted to read. Um, this is a really recent one for me. I literally just read this the other day, but it definitely is in my top 5 so far, and that is The Golden Boy, Beethoven's Youth. And this is by Michael Ross, or Michael. I don't know exactly how to say it, but um, it just tells the story of Beethoven as a little boy trying to learn how to play music and his family life, and his parents passed away before like he kind of got like big into music, but he was a virtuoso, and just the art is so good, and just the way, like, you can kind of see, if you didn't know, spoiler, Beethoven goes deaf in his life, but they kind of show that, and just like the way they show that in the book is really cool, just kind of like that ringing in his ears. And then just, I'll find the one page, because there's such like the way that they would draw, like, as he's performing, and just like the multimedia, like art, like colored pencil stuff, it's just really well done. Fantagraphics puts this out, and this was just a lovely, wonderful read. Made me want to make a book similar, like made me want to do like my punk rock version of a classical music book.
I love that cover.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's funny, that's the only book in your top 5 that I haven't read.
That's true.
And
yeah.
I would like to. So,
Yeah.
So I'll definitely do that at some point. Another one. I want you to read all of these.
I
But
read that one.
did you read this one?
Mhm.
Okay. Donald's Happy's Adventures. This is put out by Fantagraphics. We're not going to try to say the creators' names. I can't do it. I'm so sorry. But it's another one of those, kind of like the Mickey one. I think it was Mickey's Craziest Adventures came out.
Mhm.
It's similar to that, but this one was so much better. I thought I like the Mickey one a lot too, but it was so well done. It's about Donald's journey to figure out what happiness is, and that's it. And
Yeah.
it's thin and it's wonderful, and I love the art in it. And I just thought it was really well done. Did you love it?
I did love it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I realize now I read it and probably didn't put it on Goodreads.
That's fair. That's
So,
fair. And I
but
also adore this cover.
It's such a good cover. It's just the art and everything is so good.
The cover price of this is $17, so you can get this way cheaper online at like In Stock Trades or something like that. Definitely recommend doing that. I feel like no one in my realm is talking about it, and I want more people to read this. So check it out.
It's a good pick. Next one, another mini comic, and this is also another recent read. If you hear that, it's storming outside, and if you didn't, then ignore what I just said. And that is Everything Sucks, All Cats Go to Hell by Michael Sweater.
I haven't read that one either. Just kidding. There's 2 I haven't read.
Okay, yeah, there's 2, but this is another one that you do want to read, though.
Yeah.
And this is another kind of form of like Michael Sweater's like one person anthology, or just like this whole world that he's kind of created, with just these weird characters that everything sucks, and they're just funny and weird and odd, and it's shiny cover. This is put out by Silver Sprocket, and so was Poo Poo, and this is just lovely. It's like they talk about how much they don't like cats, but like deep down I think they do like cats, which is kind of cute because we all like cats here, especially in this household. And everything, the art's just super fun and quirky and weird. And this is great. You should 100% check it out.
Awesome. Of course, I have to mention.
Of course.
It was my most anticipated read of the year, and it totally lived up to all my thoughts and expectations and wishes.
The hype was real.
The hype was real. It's Tegan and Sarah. Tegan and Sarah. What's happening to me?
You said Tegan and Sarah.
It didn't feel like it. I'm distracted by the storm. I'm sorry. Tilly Walden, my favorite band, one of my favorite artists of all time and writers. But Tegan and Sarah wrote this. It was kind of loosely adapted from their high school memoir, which I adored, except it's for younger, junior high instead of high school. And so well done. I loved it. I think this is I love Tilly's art. This is some of the best Tilly art I've ever seen her do. So I'm very excited for the part 2 that's coming out hopefully next year or something. And I loved it so much. So I think even if you don't like Tegan and Sarah, you'll enjoy it. Maybe not as much, but I adored it. So check it out.
That's awesome. I need to read that. That's a big one. I really do. This one, Kristen would never have put this on her top list.
No. But I did enjoy
But
it.
she did enjoy it. But I think this book is so good, and I just love the little weirdness of it. And that is Fun Girl by Elizabeth Pitch. And you can see the shininess on the cover there. Like that's a blast. And just like I mean, I just loved this book. It's so weird and just really weird.
Just
But
be careful, Isha.
yeah, but just really fun. I can't show half of this, but it's great. There's just like these weird like grossness things in it, and just like the art is super simple and fun. I love like it's just top tier cartooning considering like there's no mouth, there's no nose, but you can get all the expressions out of it, and it's just really well done. Super cool. Again, Silver Sprocket puts this out in this really nice hardback cover or hardback edition, and I just loved this book. I really did. It's definitely one of my favorite reads of the year, just because for the sheer fact that like it was so entertaining and nothing happened. And I mean that in like the best way.
It's true.
So I loved it.
It was bonkers.
It was very bonkers. Bonkers is better. That should be the blurb on the back.
Yeah.
Fun Girl. It's bonkers. Well, we have one more,
Yeah,
and I'm
go for
guessing
it.
this is for both of us.
Yes,
this
it
is
is.
both of our picks. And if I had to say, if I was gonna put these in order, this is probably in the top running for me as number one read of the year.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same as of right
And
now.
just because of its impact as well as it's changing the game of nonfiction comics. And I'm sure you probably, if you've watched us talk about comics in the past, you probably have guessed it. It's lonely it's lonelier.
So we're both doing it.
It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth by Zoe Thorogood. And this was so good and just so bonkers, to use Kristen's word, as well as just really well done and just smart. And like the art was super wonderful. It's very, it's got a lot of mental health stuff. It's got a lot of sad stuff in it, which if you know me, you know I love a sad book. But also like it has hope in it, and that's always a big thing. The multimedia type of art and stuff I'm trying to find. There's like some panels where it's like there's just like different stuff happening, and I mean I can't show it all, but it's just like crazy. Like there's different sections where like the art looks like this, and then there's really like color pages and other details, and it's just so good. I really do think it's changing the game of graphic memoirs.
Absolutely. I think there's one of my favorite parts is when she just starts the book over.
Yeah.
And so you see the cover and then it goes on again. So there's also just like a certain fourth wall breaking throughout the
kind of
whole
like
thing.
tongue in cheek at the genre of nonfiction comics, and like as a person who's created a lot of nonfiction and you've read a lot of nonfiction and like memoir autobio stuff, it breaking the fourth wall in a way that's not cringe is really hard to do, and this book handles I think all of those things without any of the cringe, which is really impressive.
Yeah, when you read it, you'll be like, oh, that's why she got like 1 million Eisner noms.
Exactly.
It makes sense. It's so good.
I mean, I want to say debut, but not technically debut, but like, I mean, this is her
nonfiction debut.
Nonfiction debut with 5 Eisner nominations across the board. This book came with 2 Eisner nominations, like just really, really cool.
So if you haven't picked it up yet, you probably should.
You absolutely should.
Heads up though, be in the right headspace for it.
Very true. Yeah, a lot of mental health stuff, a lot of things like that in here, dealing with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, all sorts of stuff. So please make sure you read this in the right headspace. But really great book. Really, really great book. And that's it.
That's it.
Those are our 5 books so far that we've read of 2023 that we think are in the running for our favorite books of the year.
Yeah, and we want to know yours. So please leave comments.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know what you're reading. If you've read any of these, if you agree, if you disagree. We can happily disagree with people. We don't mind that.
That's true.
If you're like, I hated that book, we want to know why.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me.
Absolutely. So, yeah, same here.
But yeah, tell us what you're loving as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, please do.
You going to play us out or no?
No, I'm not going to play us out.
All right, well, we'll see you next time.
All right, see you. Bye.